answers to your immigration questions.
How long does it take to get an interview date back?
An interview for what, when, and how, and where?
An interview date for immigration.
What kind of interview are you getting? Is this for a green card? Is this for your citizenship? Who filed for you?
Green card.
Okay, who sponsored you? Your husband?
No, it's not for me.
Who sponsored whoever we're talking about? You're giving me very vague question. So when you get vague question, I can't answer it. Interview for what? Who's the sponsor? Where did you file? What forms? What are we talking about?
Is it safe to travel on your work permit?
Is it safe to travel on your work permit? Yes. Inside the United States, yes.
So could you go to Jamaica?
Not on a work permit. You can go to Jamaica with an advanced parole.
Without them giving me problems coming back?
They can always give you problems coming back. And nobody can ever guarantee you come back. What I can guarantee you is this. I assume you have a pending adjustment of status application. You have a combo card, which is a work permit and advanced parole. If you have that advanced parole, you can leave the United States, go to your home country. If it's Jamaica, then you go to Jamaica, and you can stay for a few weeks, but not months and months and months. And if you take a short trip abroad and you come back, all else being equal, you can return. Now, if you have drugs in your suitcase, they're not going to let you back in. If you've committed fraud, they're not going to let you back in. You have a criminal record, they're not going to let you back in. There's lots of reasons why they won't let you back in. But if you're asking me, assuming you are in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, you have a valid advance parole document, and all else being equal, meaning that you have no other issue with immigration, fraud, crimes, or any other thing else, you can travel with an advance parole, go home, and come back within a week or two.
I had a pending I-485, and I was in removal proceeding. I went to the court hearing in September, and the judge said he need the I-130 approval, and he gave us like 7 more months to get the I-130, and he's going to make the decision on I-485. So just yesterday, I got the approval of I-130.
Great.
So my question is, do I have to wait till like 7 months, or can I terminate the removal proceeding?
You have to wait the 7 months. What you can do is make a motion to recalendar your master calendar earlier. The judge has the right, if they want to recalendar it to an earlier date. You can show the judge the I-130, and then the judge will either do your adjustment or terminate it and allow you to do your adjustment with immigration.
This question for my friend. He's a SIJS. He just turned 18 years old, and he got kicked out by petitioner, but he's been living with the petitioner for a long time. He's a baby adult.
He's a baby adult. So we have a baby adult who got kicked out
by his adopted parents.
His adopted parents threw him out of the house? These people adopted him and then threw him out of the house?
I know the 18-year-old, yes.
Okay. Now, does this 18-year-old have a green card? Did the adopted parents ever file for his green card?
He only has EAD.
How is he getting sponsored for his green card? He did a special juvenile immigrant, and then they became the legal guardian of this child. But if they threw him out of the house and he's now on his own,
he's not even on his own. He's sleeping in his car. So the school provided shelter for him.
All right, so then he needs to really have a consultation, because if he's sleeping on his own and they threw him out, then he needs a new guardian. All right, so who are you to him?
Oh, I'm just his friend. He works while I work.
How old are you?
25.
Okay, so you could become his guardian if he's 18 and you're 25.
But this is already online. He's just waiting for an interview, and
but the problem is this: if he's out on his own, then they're going to say he's an adult. So that could ruin the special juvenile immigrant. Yes.
About my situation, getting married in Nigeria and still being married here. So you had mentioned, I told you that I was working, but I was off work, and you mentioned that
you had disability.
Workman comp.
Okay, workman's comp is okay.
Right, but you had mentioned, when I told you I had to rely on public assistance for a little while, you had mentioned a second support.
What I had mentioned is that now that if you're on public assistance, that is a negative factor. That is, if you were on any public assistance in the last 36 months, it is now a negative factor when it comes to determining at the U.S. Embassy if your husband or spouse is going to become a public charge. So the more you're on public assistance, the more of a negative factor it is.
Right, but then you said that you could do affidavits of second...
If you don't earn enough money, or there's an issue with this negative factor, you could always do a second affidavit of support. You can show that your husband's going to be gainfully employed. There's lots of things you can do to overcome this.
I have a question about my parents' green card.
Yes?
Their green card will be valid until 2023. However, after they live here 3 and 5 months, they went back to China and they overstayed.
What do you mean they
Up
overstayed?
to April.
They stayed in China for how long?
Oh, it's been almost 3 years now.
3
In a
years.
few months will be 3 years. So my question is, how do I get them back? Should I try
Are you a citizen?
SB-1 visa?
Are you a citizen?
I am a citizen. Yes,
Okay.
I'm the petitioner.
All right, so step one would be that they would go to the U.S. Embassy and they would apply for an SB-1 visa. That's what I would do first. An SB-1 visa is a visa to come back to the United States to live as a permanent resident after you have been out of the country for 2 or 3 years. And what you need to be able to show is that you really are domiciled in America. And it was not your intent when you left to stay out for 2 to 3 years, but, you know, stuff happens. And this is what happened, and it was beyond my control, which is why I stayed out for 2 to 3 years. And guess what? I have a lot of ties. I have a lot of roots still in America. I have my children are there, my grandchildren perhaps. I left a home, my clothes, a car. My job is still being held open for me. Whatever it is that they can show that they still have roots in America, and they apply to re-enter the United States with their green card. If they can show enough roots and a good reason why they've been out for 2 to 3 years and it wasn't really their intent to give up their green card, they will give them this special visa. It's called an SB-1 visa to come back and live in the United States as a permanent resident. Or their other alternative would be, I'm going to give you 3 choices. That's option 1. Option 2 is go to the U.S. Embassy and say, you know what? I've been out of the country for 3 years. I had the opportunity to live in the United States. I don't really want to. I like China. I just want to be able to visit. Can you change my green card to a visitor's visa? And they'll change it to a visitor's visa. Because what do you need to prove to get a visitor's visa? All you need to prove to get a visitor's visa is, I don't want to live in America. I'm going back to China. And what better way to prove that you're going back to China is, I had an opportunity to live in America with a green card, and I chose not to. And then just get a visitor's visa and let them visit. Or, number 3, don't just refile for them. Take the position, they gave up their green cards, I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm going to refile for my parents again.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to weigh this. My questions for SB-1 visa, I'm looking for the evidence other than they got sick. And they have ties. I say, I'm the only child here. They have 3 back to China.
All right,
and
so
they do not have a driver license, no bank account. They live with me. I do have extra house for them.
You're the ties, and they got sick, and that's what you try to do.
I just came here as a K1 visa fiance in October 2017. And after a while, I married with my wife.
Did you get married in that first 90 days that you came?
Yes.
Where you
yes,
from? Where you from, Amir?
Iran.
Okay.
Yes.
And did your wife file for you?
My wife, she did. Actually, I went to the interview, but my wife, she refused coming with me to interview. And today I received the denial.
Why did she refuse to go?
Because she doesn't cooperate to hold the case, and she left the country living by herself in Mexico.
All right.
And I used to living with her for like 9 months, and I explained it to the interviewer.
Did you have a lawyer with you?
No,
Okay, that was your mistake. Had you gone with a lawyer, you would have got a green card. Because any lawyer would be able to go to an immigration officer, and you just needed to say 3 words to that immigration officer to get you a green card. But the immigration officer is not on your side, so they'll deny you unless you know the 3 special words to say when you file an adjustment after you entered on a fiancé visa and your spouse doesn't show up to the interview. Just 3 magic words.
Right.
Matter of Sesay. I would just refile again under Matter of Sesay, and I would do it with a good lawyer, and you'll get a green card. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.